YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and I'm bringing you guys a brand new video. Now, these videos tend to do the best on the channel, so I hope you guys are excited that we are going to be doing the how to aim better in Modern Warfare 2 video. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to aim just a little bit better so you guys can absolutely shred the lobbies that you're playing with and obviously up your KD and all that good stuff. So usually these videos do pretty good. I have some good tips for you guys to help you guys out, and especially in a game with not a lot of movement, your aim is going to be really important, and I'm here to help you. So hopefully you guys can drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be having YouTube videos coming out every single day on this channel, especially shorts as well. You don't want to miss it. Drop a sub, and let's get right into this, guys. So to start this video, guys, I'm going to give you the most important tip ever as a controller player. A lot of people don't know about this, and this is going to also go into the last tip of the video. It's called left stick aiming, but this is the most important thing that most players in the game that I see make mistakes do, and it's standing still when they're shooting. It's called left stick aiming as well, is what I like to call it. But the reason why it's so important, and the reason why a lot of people don't use this tip, is because when you are just aiming in at something and someone runs across from you, especially as a controller player, it's not gonna help you because your aim assist won't activate. What I mean is this. Okay, Lamberto, run by my screen. So right here, I'm not touching my controller as he goes back and forth, and you can see nothing is happening with my aim assist, right? So that is why when you're standing still, and a lot of casual players stand still when they are playing, it's the #1 mistake outside of what left stick aiming can do for you that I explain later in the video. It's also super important because it does not activate your aim assist. And now, when I'm just going like this with my left stick and nothing else with my right, you can see what happens when he runs by. You can see how it basically follows the player for you, and it does the aiming for you. That is called rotational aim assist. And that is the reason why when you were standing still when you were aiming, it is the most important thing not to do, because that will hurt you so much. So that is the #1 tip in this video that I want you guys to see. Now we're going to get into the video for the rest of the tips to help you become the best player you can be. Let's get it. All right, first things first, I'm going to show you guys the settings that I use on my controller. I think those are the most important. We obviously just came out with the settings video before, and we'll be obviously posting a more updated settings video as the game goes on, especially to help you guys out in any kind of way. But the most important thing with your controller aim, and you know, you're just aiming in general, and I am a controller player, and some of these tips will be for mouse and key too, so you want to stay tuned. But for controller, the settings that I'm going to show you guys are what I use and what I do love, and we're going to start off pretty brief here. Just the controller settings, the normal ones. I play tactical, and I do not play flipped. And then all of this other stuff, I play on 6.6 to 0.8 multiplier for my sensitivity multiplier. Everything else is 1. Vertical aim, I don't touch. Everything is standard. And then I have all of this stuff as my controller settings down here. The biggest thing that I'm going to talk about really quick, a brief just explanation of controller sensitivities. I think anything from about 4 to about 9, I would say about 9 or 10 is probably the maximum that I think a lot of people can use at a very high level. I'm talking at the pro level to be the most accurate when other people are not missing. You don't want to miss either. I think anything higher than 10 is a little bit more trolly, but at the same time, it's a lot of personal preference, and you can use whatever you want. You just have to practice and get the reps with it, and I think you'll be completely fine. So I play on 6.6. A lot of pro players play on 6.6, 7.7, 8.8 or 5.5, just around that area. And on top of that, weirdly, with this game not having a lot of movement, I actually like when I'm aimed down sight to be a little bit slower so I can be even more accurate, and that's why I play on the ADS multiplier of 0.8. Also, then you go to these advanced settings over here. The target aim assist is going to be on, of course. We love it, and I use Black Ops aim assist. Again, I think this is the best aim assist right now that you can be using. You can read what the other aim assists do. Default's pretty good too. I don't recommend playing on precision or focusing. Personally, I think that's just not really good for most players, especially that it's kind of more for the advanced player. And honestly, why would you not want more aim assist, right? So I play on Black Ops. I think a lot of the pro players are playing on Black Ops right now too, so I'd recommend giving it a try. And then aim response curve type is dynamic. You can play linear, which basically there is no slowdown or speed up in your aim at all. And then you can play on standard, which kind of starts from slower and then goes to faster. I'll give you an explanation in a second. And then, yeah, for the dead zones, I play on 0.3 for my left stick and then 0.5 for my right stick right now. Depending on your controller, you obviously can mess around with your dead zones. Basically, you just put those dead zones to as low as you can go to make your response time on your controller as fast as possible, as long as you're not getting stick drift. So that's what I play on my dead zones right there. And then my left stick max is actually at a 0.6. And the reason why is because I want to be moving as fast as possible and as soon as I touch that left stick so I can be fast on the map. So those are my dead zones. And then everything else is pretty standard here. The last and final setting that's actually super underrated right now in this game, it's in the interface settings as well. If you scroll all the way down on interface and you go to center dot, this center dot is going to be really important for what I'm about to teach you guys. But adding a static dot in the middle of the screen, it actually helps you with your centering and focusing on the middle of the screen. So I actually recommend having the center dot on, and you can play with the size of it if you want it larger or largest. You actually might want to make it larger if you struggle with centering a lot, and it could help you out in the future of your games and just get better at that mechanic that I'm about to teach you. Overall, definitely recommend using the center dot on as well. Okay, guys, so tip number 1 is something that I've explained so many times on stream and so many times on YouTube, but again, this is the most important one probably ever when it comes to aiming in almost any first-person shooter game that you are playing. You will be using the centering tip, and what centering is that center dot right there on your screen. Hold up, let's get some noise here. There you go. The center dot on your screen is the center of your screen, right? And what you want to do is always be centering your aim. So what I mean by that is when you watch the best players in the world run around like I'm doing right now, they will be running around and they're going to have their center of their screen, aka that center dot, at pretty much medium level. So if anyone catches them off guard, they're always going to be aiming chest up, and you can get that headshot multiplier, especially in this game. Headshots are huge. The biggest mistake I usually see like casual players that aren't like super good at aiming do is their settings are usually pretty low and it's at the ground like this. And if I'm looking at the ground like this, right, and someone turns that corner, his chest would be around like right here. If I'm looking at the ground right here and he turns this corner, this guy is going to shoot me as he's shooting me, right? Especially if he has good centering. I'm going to have to stop and look and aim up and then snap to shoot him. By the time I do all of that, if that guy is a good player and he jumps the corner or he turns the corner anticipating me, he'll probably get a bullet or two off before I can even react and I will die. So what you'll see a lot of the best players in the world do is they'll be always centering around corners and have people there. So there's a box around this corner right here, right? If I'm expecting him around that box, I'm not just going to run out like this. And if he is behind that box, I'm going to have to go like this, stop, flick to the head, and do all that movement, right? That's going to be a lot. And by that time, I'm probably dead. If I think that guy's behind this box, what I'm going to do, instead of turning the corner just like that, I'm going to back off and I'm going to turn the corner like this. And now you can see how much easier and slow of an adjustment this box would be if I'm turning the corner just like that. You could also, you know, jump the corner and be centered on it. You can obviously throw a shoulder, which we'll talk about soon. But the centering is really important, where you want to predict where your enemy is coming from. It's super, super helpful, and it's super, super important for you guys to do. So when you guys are running around the map, make sure you're really, really focusing on where your centering is. And honestly, you'll catch a lot of yourselves just like not predicting where people are going to be or just not having the right centering, and it's going to cost you. And especially in a game with not a lot of movement, centering is super important because no one can really move out of your centering, right? So it's going to help you get a lot of kills. The last example I will give to you guys for centering is, for example, if there was someone really camping up there and being annoying, and I know he's up there, if I'm running here, I'm going to actually center up here. So as soon as he peeks me, I can stop and aim in. And my reticle placement is going to be right where his chest and or head is going to be. And I'll be able to get the kill. And that's also really important too. If like your teammate gives you a call out, or this guy's just been killing you, he's a camping little rat and he's always been up there. When you turn this corner, you can center here. But as soon as you start running at that and you think he's going to be up there, boom, right? That is much better than if you thought, you know, there's nothing here and you're just running at the floor like this. If someone turns the corner and they're up there, you have to go 1, 2, boom, and it's just going to be taking way too long and you're probably going to die. So that is centering in a nutshell. Watch the best players in the world do it. Watch my stream. Watch any of your favorite people watch it. I'm telling you, their centering is usually going to be pretty on when they're at their full focus, like, you know, super, super sweaty mode. So that's one thing to really, really keep an eye on. And if you are obviously conscious of your centering a lot, you will catch a lot of people off guard and get a lot of easier kills. So hopefully that helps you. And that is tip number 1. The next thing is really, really brief, very, very simple, is recoil control. So every gun that you're going to be using, you're going to have your own loadout, whatever it is, you have to understand the recoil that you're working with. And every gun right now in Call of Duty has that predictive recoil pattern. So what I mean by that is get your gun, stand at a wall in a private match really quick, and just know what you're working with. If this is a SCAR right now, I'm not going to do anything to control the recoil. I'm going to have my controller here. My hand's not even on the right stick at all. And here we go. The recoil is going to go basically straight up. That recoil wasn't super crazy. It wasn't to the right. It wasn't to the left. If it was up to the right, I would pull down to the left. It was up to the left, I'd pull down to the right. So since that was just basically straight up, all I'm going to do is pull a little bit straight down, and it's just going to be like this. And instead, that recoil going straight up is now basically having no recoil at all. And that is what your right stick on your controller is mainly going to be used for, is recoil control. And now that horizontal left shake, left and right, that's what your left stick will be doing. If you're moving left and right while you're doing that, it's going to look like this. and that left shake is not going to be as bad, and you're not going to have as much recoil. And that's what the best players do, is do that. It's going to be really, really important. And on top of that, that right stick control will help you out at those longer ranges, especially when they are behind cover. Also, one last thing, if you want to get rid of a lot of visual recoil as well really quickly, these settings right here, field of view, I put it on 120. That's what I play on. A field of view being affected will get rid of a lot of your weapon visual recoil control, and it makes it a little bit easier in my opinion. And then the weapon field of view, this is a new setting in Modern Warfare. A lot of people don't know about it. Just make sure it's on wide. If it's on wide and then you have your first person camera movement at 50, so it's not shaking with all that camera, it'll make the recoil control a lot easier to manage, and it'll make it a lot better visually for you as well. Okay, the next tip, guys, is just going to be shouldering. This isn't just pure aim, but this is going to help your aim and centering out a lot. So now that I just taught you guys what centering is, basically what shoulder peeking is when you throw your shoulder out like this. A lot of good pro players will do this too. They'll throw their shoulder and come back in. And the best part about something like that is, say, you know, there's a guy up top here, right? And you don't really know, and you're playing search and destroy. You're playing a little bit more stealthy, or you're playing respawn and you're just being really fast and you want to see if there's anyone around that corner. Instead of just blindly taking that corner, now you do you center up top? Do you center down low? Do you center to the right? You don't know where to center your aim that we just talked about. The best thing to do sometimes is throw a shoulder peek and then center your aim, and then you can make your decision. I would throw one shoulder like this. I don't see anything up top. I don't see anything down low, and then I can make my move. If I throw my first shoulder and I see him up top, I shoulder, back off, and now I can center my aim like I just explained. And now the next time I peek, I'm right where he's going to be. It's going to give myself more of an advantage to get that kill around that corner and actually, you know, hit him with shots that he's not expecting. Still not going to be the easiest kill, but it will be helpful. Also, there's also decision making here too. If you shoulder and you see him up top, maybe you want to back off. You don't want to take that hard fight. Maybe you want to reposition and wait for him to push you like this, right? Or maybe you want to go absolutely crazy. You shoulder him, you see him up top, and now, boom, you jump the corner and you try and break that camera. Breaking those cameras and turning corners fast is also very important as well. That would probably be my next thing, is like, you know, throw your shoulders. And if you see anyone, he's behind that van head glitch. I don't really want to take that fight. I'm going to run away. I see him behind that van head glitch. Now I know the van's like right around there. Boom. You see how much easier it is? Even when I mess it up, I just have to go like that instead of being like down here or up here, or just in general, just kind of just like not really precise. So shoulder peaks are really important, and what it would look like in fast motion is if I was running, I'd be like this, I'd go like that, and then boom. You see how quickly I did that? With the information from that first shoulder, I would have a good information of what I want to do next, and then the more you do this and the more reps you get, the better you will get at it, and the easier it will help you out. So especially if you're just kind of holding like an area and you don't really want to push and you're doing a little bit more of a slower play style, especially in search and destroy, shouldering doesn't hurt. You can just shoulder like this, and just keep like that. And as soon as you shoulder out and you see him cross to your left, you shoulder out, he crosses to your left, boom, you can center right there. Or boom, you can take the wide corner. You can make so many decisions with the information that you're given, and then you can have your centering really help you out from there. The next tip, and it might be the final tip for this video, and again, if you guys did like this video and you really do enjoy these tips, I can go even probably more in depth with it. I can do snipers. I can do a little bit more just information or questions, or answer some questions in the comments below. There's going to be so much informational content on this channel that I promise you guys, I will get to it. And I will do all these videos that you guys are really asking for. So if you do like this, please drop a like and let me know what you guys think. But this is going to be the last tip right now. It's going to be called left stick aiming. I get this question a lot in Warzone, and Warzone is a very long range, you know, fighting kind of game, right? You're taking a lot more long range fights, and especially with those assault rifles, you want to have accurate shots and obviously hit your shots consistently. Even in multiplayer though, like if you're shooting someone pretty far or they're, you know, they're crossing, you want to be able to hit those long range shots a little bit more consistently. And the biggest mistake I see a lot of casual players do when they aim is they stand still. They do not use their left stick. They do not use A or D as their A key or their D key. And they stand still, and that's going to make it really, really hard to just aim in general at long range or even short range. Like for example, if someone was right here and they're going back and forth like this, or they're jumping and they're, you know, they're trying to get out of your way, if you're only using your right stick, it's hard to control the recoil and track people. Even the best players in the world, like that's tough to do. What you really want to do is you want to use your left stick to obviously track people and also help you out. If someone was running across my screen from left to right now, what I would be doing is not just standing still and just going like this with my right stick. That's pretty hard to do. What I would be doing instead, if someone does it, is I would be moving to the left and then tracking him to the right. Or I would be following them and moving to the right and also tracking them. And it makes it a lot easier to get those long range shots off. I truly think the more you stand still, you're an easier target, and it's going to make you easier to be gunned. And left stick aiming is so important. And when Warzone 2 comes out, I'll really be able to explain this even better for you guys. But I'm telling you, a lot of the fights that like are here from here, even if I'm on a head glitch, I'm not just going to sit still and only use my right stick to track control recoil and do all that other stuff. It's very, very hard. What I'm going to do while I'm on this head glitch is when people come out, I'm going to be strafing left and right. And I'm going to be using my left stick, which I like to call left stick aiming and also a little bit of strafing, is just strafing back and forth and being mobile with your left stick to make it less intense on your right stick, right? Control that recoil. So your right stick is mainly a little bit of tracking and mainly recoil control. And then your left stick is to get the aim assist and to get yourself moving, make yourself a harder target, and also to help you track them just a little bit easier. So it would look something like this. That's what it would look like from long range as I'm going back and forth. What a lot of casual players make the mistake of doing is they just stand here and they just like try and like, you know, track the guy with only the right stick. And that makes it a lot harder and it makes it a lot easier for you to completely lose your target. So that is probably one of the most important things in Call of Duty is you don't stay mobile while you're fighting. That is one of the biggest things I would recommend is obviously going into a bots free-for-all and playing some, you know, just shooting against bots. It's really easy. I'll show you what that looks like in the sense of how to set it up and then kind of practicing some of these tips. It will really, really help you warm up. And also warming up's a big thing because a lot of people kind of get on and they try and get right into it sometimes. And then they're really frustrated because they're just getting absolutely pooped on. And then their frustration makes them to play really stupid and then they play bad and it's an entire cycle. So warming up sometimes is actually really helpful as well. So in the new Modern Warfare 2, if you want to set up a bots free-for-all like I was explaining, you just go to private match down here, create a private match, play a free-for-all, and then once this game setup is unlocked and you're able to go, you have to give it a second or two to kind of load up. Once it's loaded up, all you have to do is hit game setup, pick whatever map. Usually a small close quarters map is the best. You do the time limit, you make it unlimited. You do score, you make that unlimited. I like to do the enable minimap on, and then radar's always on constant. And then all you have to do from there is do some bots, and you put them on basically 5 or however much you can, and then put it on recruit, because it does not matter what the bots are shooting back at you, even if it's veteran. It doesn't matter. I promise you, it's more to practice your centering and your aim and stuff like that. Bots are not a real, you know, a real way to really get practice in the sense of someone shooting back at you, because it's not realistic shooting back at you anyway. So it's all about kind of target practice. So yeah, guys, those are the tips and tricks right now to help you just get a little bit better at aiming. And I do recommend doing the warm up and practicing some of these in bots free-for-alls just so you can obviously get a little bit better at practicing it as much as possible. But overall, I hope those tips help you. And if they did, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I love you guys so much for the support. And I promise you, we're going to have so much YouTube videos coming out for you guys. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, leave in the comments below what you would like to see next. I promise you, I am going to be doing as much content as possible on this channel. We've been doing a lot in Warzone, even in the recent past when Warzone was kind of, you know, not that fun. I promise you we're going to be doing as much as possible. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Later, homies.